Hello, welcome to another video. I was in the mood to film today and didn't necessarily have anything that I wanted to film, so I tweeted that I was in the mood and didn't know what to film, and got the response to film this. So Hannah from the channel Ladette M, I will link her channel down below, responded to my tweet saying that she had created a book tag, the Ride or Die book tag, and whenever anyone doesn't know what to film, that's her response to say, hey, do my tag. So she responded with that. I had a look at her original tag video, and as I want to film, and here's a tag that I was not tagged in, but like sort of tagged in, I thought I would do it. I don't normally do book tags, or I haven't in a while. No real reason for that, I just either haven't been tagged in any or haven't been aware of them. But as Hannah pushed me to do this tag, I'm gonna do it. So the concept of it is like it's ride or die. Everyone knows what that is, like books that you love sort of thing, and she's put the prompt list together, and I'm just gonna go through and do them. So as I say, I will link Hannah's channel down below, because that is where this came from. Right, so let's get started. The first tag is The BFF, a book that not everyone likes but has been with you since the start. You'll always love them. For me, there is no better book to fit this prompt than I Am Number 4 by Pittacus Law. This book really has been with me from the start. I have reread this book 11 times. I keep meaning to reread it again so I can read the whole series, because I never finished the series, but I adored this first book. It's not a popular series. I have not heard many people talk about this at all, but I loved it when I read it. When was this actually released? 2010, yeah. I liked this. There was a movie adaptation as well for this, which I enjoyed, but not as good as the book. So if my memory serves me right, and you'd think if I've read it 11 times it would, we can't guarantee that though. This follows a boy called Four. That is how, yeah, I suppose it is his name, but people don't call him Four. He's from an alien planet. He's one of the last 10 I think. He's one of the last 10 people of this species, and their names are numbers, so 1 through to 10. And they're being hunted down by another alien species which had destroyed their planet, which is why these last 10 are on the run, but due to some sort of magic, they can only be killed in order. Number 1 is dead, number 2 is dead, number 3 is dead. Our main character here is number 4, so he knows that he is next, and it is his coming of age, I suppose, coming into his powers and escaping from aliens that want to kill him. That was really difficult to explain. I need to reread these books, but yeah, it's been with me from the start. I love it. I need to reread them. The next prompt is The Long Drive, a book that you would take on a journey if you know you'll be spending a lot of time unable to move. Think plane, train, or automobile. So for this, I have picked a book that I have not actually read, but need to and know that I will love. And that is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is Mistborn Book 1, first book in the Mistborn trilogy, and so much more. It's a chunker, so if I was on a train, plane, or automobile for a long time, it would definitely keep me entertained and would give me an excuse to actually get my act together and read this. I know next to nothing about this other than it's Brandon Sanderson and everyone bloody loves it and I need to read it. Something to do with metal magic, and people can normally like have one form of magic from one form of metal, but there are people called the Mistborn who have all of them. I need to read this so a long journey would be a great excuse to get cracking. Next up we have The Newcomer, which is the most recent book you've read that you can't stop talking about. The fact that I can't stop talking about it would mean that you've heard me talk about it already, but I've gone with Saint's Blood by Sebastien de Castell just to encompass the Greatcoats. This is the last book in the Greatcoats that I've read. The first one being Traitor's Blade. I love Sebastien de Castell, I love this series, and this was the last one in that. It's one of my last 5-star reads. Absolutely adore this series. So this series follows a group of fallen Greatcoats, which is Falcio, Brasti and Kest. The king has died, the king has been murdered, his Greatcoats have fallen. The Greatcoats aren't like knights, they're more like magistrates. They uphold the king's law and they are in a very powerful position. But the king is murdered and the Greatcoats have fallen, and it's Falcio, Brasti and Kest's journey to fulfill their king's last dying wishes and uncover a whole lot more than that. It gets a lot. There is a fantasy magic system in here as well, but it doesn't really come into play too much until the second book for our main characters. It's definitely more of a background element, but it's there. And I just love it. I love these characters, I love the action, I love the politics and the intrigue and the plot twists, and the second book is absolutely brutal. I adored it. So yeah, I go on about these enough. You will have heard me speak about them. Next up is The Quiet One, and this is a book you reach for when you need some peace and quiet. Now the book I have gone for this is The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson, and I'm using this kind of to encompass these heartwarming middle grades that I adore. And I think when you just want a bit of escapism, some peace and quiet, some calm, some calm reading, a heartwarming middle grade like The House with Chicken Legs or The Girl Who Speaks Bear is such a perfect fit for that. They're just so cozy and fun. I love them. So The House with Chicken Legs follows a young girl called Marinka whose grandmother is Baba Yaga and her house has chicken legs, which means that their house is never in one place for very long, and Marinka is never really able to put down roots and develop friendships, and that's what she wants. She wants to take her fate into her own hands and change her path. So really this is Marinka's journey of self-discovery, trying to change her own destiny and discovering what is most important to her. But so heartwarming, I love it. And I love the way that it's got all the like Slavic mythology and folklore woven into it as well. Sophie Anderson's writing is beautiful. Definitely a heartwarming, peace and quiet sort of read. Love it so much. Next up is The Outgoing One, the book you love to read in public or don't mind keeping with you for antisocial social occasions. I'm a bit confused by this because literally any book in my library I will read in antisocial social situations. My current read is always on me no matter where I am, going to work, going to visit a friend or family, going for a walk, like it's always in my bag. If my bag is with me, my book is in it. So really, any. But for the sake of showing you one, I have gone for The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern because it's a beautiful edition and it's got these beautiful blue sprayed edges, and I have found that whenever I am reading a book in public with really bright sprayed edges, someone asks me about it. If it doesn't have the bright sprayed edges, people tend to leave me alone. But if I have this like sitting on my desk with the blue, someone will see it and be like, "Ooh, what's this?" And then I get to talk about it. So that's why I've gone with this, but really any book with sprayed edges does that. And any book would be one that I would keep on me for social situations, going out, reading in public. I feel like I don't need to tell you what The Night Circus is about. It's about a circus that appears at night and there are the two sorcerers that are kind of put against each other by their parents. Not parents, but like the sorcerers that trained them, so I suppose they're sorcerers' apprentices really, aren't they? And they're put against each other in like a magic duel to outdo each other. It's very whimsical, very beautifully written. I absolutely adore it, and this edition is gorgeous. Next up we have The Guilty Pleasure, and this one is the book you don't want to justify because it would be too embarrassing, but you love it nonetheless. And again, for this I struggled a little bit because I'm not embarrassed by any of the books that I love, and I don't feel like I have to justify why I love them. And those books that are typically considered your guilty pleasure reads, I haven't read. I'm talking like 50 Shades of Grey, that sort of route. I haven't read, so I don't have anything like that. So I have gone with Raw, just because the main plotline of princess who doesn't have the power to claim her kingdom needs to go and find power to claim her kingdom is one of those like really tropey stories that I normally moan about. But for some reason I like it in this, and I think it might be because it's got a really unique magic system. It's all about storm magic, and there are storm hunters that go into like the heart of hurricanes, and you can take the heart of the storm and then you are gifted with that storm's magic. So yeah, the magic system in this is really unique, but otherwise that plot of princess needing to get power to claim her kingdom, and of course there's good guy, bad guy, love triangle sort of thing, like all the things that I normally would moan about are in here, but for some reason I like it in this one. So that's going to be my guilty pleasure one. Next up we have The Stranger, and this one is the book that no one seems to have heard of and you wish everyone had read it so you could talk about it. This was probably one of the easiest ones here to pick something for, and it is A Shiver of Snow and Sky by Lisa Ludek. I always confuse that title because it's a shiver, snow, sky, a shiver of ice and stars, I think. No, A Storm of Ice and Stars is the sequel, and I just get all of that very confused. But it's a polar fantasy book that I absolutely adore. It's so atmospheric, so fun to read, and there's so much more in this than I expected there to be when I went into it. So the back here says, "Red, red, the lights glow red, beware of the danger up ahead." In this little icy village, they see, it's like the Aurora Borealis, I suppose, the Northern Lights, but it is like a gift from the goddess, and the lights foretell. So like green lights means everything's fine, everything's happy, blue means something else. There's a poem, I can't remember it, but they do sing it in the book, and when the lights glow red it means there is danger. This is the goddess warning them to prepare for something terrible. And through our main character's life, what's her name, Osa, sorry. Through Osa's life, she hasn't seen the red lights herself, and then the red lights appear. 17 years ago the sky turned red just as Osa was born, unleashing a plague that claimed the lives of hundreds of villagers, including her own mother. This time, the night sky once again bleeds crimson. She must discover how to stop the onslaught before so many lives are lost again. So Osa goes on this journey to talk to the goddess, and along the way she discovers all sorts, including an ice dragon, which was incredible. There is one particular scene in this that is one of the most tense scenes I've read in a book. Like, I was really on the edge of my seat. I don't want to say too much because it's quite late in the book, and I don't want to risk spoiling anything, but it's so atmospheric, and like, I really was wholly invested in this. But yeah, there's an ice dragon, there's like celestial sort of magic as well, there's the goddess, there's the beautiful snowy atmosphere, and oh, it's so enveloping. I love this so much, and literally like no one talks about it, no one's read it, and I have no one to rave about, but I adore this book and the sequel as well. And the way this book and the sequel kind of link up, like they're not direct sequels, they follow different characters, but there is something that links them, and I just think it's fantastic. So there's that. Next up is The Book Was Better, a book you loved but the film adaptation was awful. I really struggled with this because I do not have many books on my shelf that have film adaptations, so I've gone with a classic, Percy Jackson. The film is so incredibly different to the book, and I just think the book was better. So, short and sweet for that one. If you don't know what Percy Jackson is about, where have you been? It's about the demigod, half boy, son of Poseidon, who goes to Camp Half-Blood to learn how to be a demigod. Yeah, there's that. And then lastly, we have the author. An author, you will read everything they ever produce from. You trust them completely, whether it's a hardback series of 15 novels or a shopping list. And as I've already spoken about Sebastian de Castell, although he would apply to this as well, of course I have to say Victoria Schwab, because I adore Victoria Schwab. I have a Schwab shrine, like, I have a lot of Schwab. I love her, I love everything that I've read from her. Adore it. So yeah, I'm holding this Savage Song here, but not for any particular reason. I love all of her books, and I'm not going to hold up all of them. So there we go. But yeah, there we go. That was the Ride or Die book tag. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular because I wasn't really technically tagged. But thanks for letting me know about this on Twitter, Hannah. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up. Let me know what your Ride or Die book is down below. What's your absolute fave? But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in whatever I put out next. Bye!